緊急企画現役 NBA スカウトインタビューイエーイということで清掃してまいりましたけどみんなフラッグな格好だったという、今回はですね NBA マイアミヒートのアジア担当スカウトロバート・ピアースさん
すごい
捕まえたのかなんだか分かんないけど
ありがとうございます。
ありがとうございます。お話をお聞きしようと思います。まず経歴ご紹介します。アメリカのオレゴン州ポートランド生まれ、バイオラ大学卒業後にコーチングキャリアをスタート、1997年に日立本社ライジングさん現サンロッカーズ渋谷のアシスタントコーチに就任、途中からヘッドコーチを務められました。2002年には吉田監督のもと日本代表のアシスタントコーチとしてアジア大会に出場。2005年にクリーブランドキャバリアーズのアジア担当スカウトに就任。2008年 BJ リーグ滋賀レイクスターズの初代ヘッドコーチ就任。2年目にはプレーオフにも進出してます。2010年秋田ノーザンハピネッツ、2011年には仙台 89ers のヘッドコーチを務めました。そして2015年からマイアミのスカウトをやられているということです。でその間中国でもいろいろお仕事をされてたということなんですけど、そもそもなんかどういうきっかけで日本でキャリアを始められたんですか？
Well, the start was I was coaching in the U.S. and I actually saw players like Drazen Petrovic and Arvydas Sabonis, and I started wondering where do these great players come from, and so I got interested in international basketball.
まずアメリカでコーチしてて、そのペトロビッチとかアルビダス・サボノスとかの選手を見て、このいう選手たちはどこから来るのかっていうのに興味を持って、それで国際バスケにちょっと興味を持ち始めた。
And my first experience was with a player from Mexico, and so I tried to go to Spanish-speaking countries, and when that didn't really work out, I remembered that when I was a high school coach, every team that I coached had a second or third generation Japanese player. And
最初に関わろうとしたのがそのメキシコ系の選手だったんです。それでスペイン語圏の国での仕事をちょっと転々としようと思ってたんですけど、なかなかうまくいかず、で自分のハイスクールその高校の時のこととかを考えると、その2世代3世代目の日本人日系人ですね、が必ずいるっていうことに気づきました。
And so I said, well, it looks like Japan loves basketball. So I went to a bookstore in Costa Mesa. I bought a book on Japanese. I figured no coach is going to know Japanese. If I learned Japanese, then I could go to Japan and do some clinics or camps and do something overseas, because I had a real interest because of these new players coming into the NBA from overseas. And so that's how I got started, and I just started studying Japanese and reading the weekly the monthly basketball magazine and got very interested in Japan.
どうやら日本人はじゃあバスケットボールに興味があるんだろうってそれをきっかけに思ったので、本屋さんに行って日本語の本を買ってひたすら日本語を勉強する。そうすればその、外国人の人と外国人コーチとして日本語が喋れればそのクリックとかもいろいろできるだろうということで、ひたすら日本語を勉強したのがまずきっかけだっていう。
And so one summer I wrote a letter to Gekken Basketball in English, which they translated. I went to camp. I was doing camps. I was at Stanford. I was gone most of the summer. I was at Stanford basketball camp. I drove back home, and there were maybe 30 letters from people in Japan who answered that letter I wrote to that magazine. Some of them are still my friends. One of them is Tomoya Higashino, who's the head of Japan basketball. At the time was a student at Waseda. Was still a student. And through that relationship and those pen pals, in fact, I just had dinner with one 2 nights ago. I've had a long relationship with Japan and Japan basketball. So I really appreciate that magazine for publishing my letter, because that started everything.
なるほど。
月バスに、手紙を書きました。でそれが掲載されたんですね。でそれを通しそれに対する返答が30枚ぐらい返ってきて、で今でもその進行は続いているんです。その中の一人が当時早稲田大学で、学生だった東野智也さん、
技術委員長です。
そう、現在 JBA の技術委員長ですね。なのですごいですね。月バスに投稿した結果、すごいそういうつながりが今。
And the other thing I did is I got a book all about Japan and had all the universities listed. So I picked like the 20, the 20 that they listed first, and I wrote a letter in very poor Japanese to 20 universities, so basketball coach. I said I'm a college basketball coach. I'm interested in Japan basketball. So I wrote these 20 letters. I got one reply. It was from Kawashima Junichi-san, the head coach at Nichidai, and they had just won in college, in inter-college, with Hasegawa Makoto. So a very strong team, and so he's the only one who replied, and he came to visit me in the U.S. about a year later.
Wow.
on a trip, and when Hiroka, who's now the head coach at Gunma, was becoming a freshman at Nichidai, he sent him to train with me for 4 weeks. And so our University of Southern California College, he came and played with us in the spring for 4 weeks. That was a very, very, very good player.
その日本の大学のリストを、手に入れて、その中の、20校にこう手紙を拙い日本語で書いたんですね。バスケットボールをこっちやってますっていうので、その中で唯一1校だけ返答があって、それが日大だったと。で、日大の川島さんからこの連絡がありましたと。で、それで1年後に訪れてくれたりとかで、そこから進行が始まっていって、で現在群馬でコーチやってる広岡さんが当時大学1年生として入ってきて、でそこで4週間自分のところでクリニックやったりとかっていうそういった経験関係がこう築かれていったという。
今その広岡さんいいプレイヤーだったって言ってましたけど、そんなにレベル差はなかったんですか、アメリカの学生と。
He did great. He had a lack of experience playing against the American style. In fact, I remember the first time somebody gave him a pump fake, he jumped in the air and flipped over. But then when he played with our team in the spring league, he played great. And I remember our head coach was like, "Bob, you got to get him to stay here. Get him to stay here. We want him to stay." He's like, "I can't. His coach is paying to have him come train with us. We go back and be a better player." But yes, we loved him. He did a great job, and it showed that if players do challenge other levels outside of Japan, there's plenty of Japanese players who can do very well. And of course, we've seen that with the recent success of the players that are going out.
最初はやっぱりそのアメリカのスタイルに慣れてないっていうところもあって、そこに対する苦労みたいのはありましたけど、その一回やったのがパンプフェイクされて、それに思いっきり引っかかってひっくり返っちゃうみたいなこともあったんですけど、徐々にこう慣れてくるとやっぱりこう成果が出てきて、でもう他のコーチとかもあいつちょっと引き止めようぜみたいな流れになって、いやいやちょっとお金とかね払ってもらってきてるのにそれはさすがにっていうことになったんですけどその日本以外のレベルにチャレンジすることでこう順応していけば成果が出せるっていうことをもうその時点で示せたと。でもう実際今もねそのいろんな選手がそうやってどんどん成果出してるので、それを証明できたんじゃないかなと思います。
And so then, as everybody probably knows, coaching is not always the most financially rewarding job. So for a while I didn't have enough money to travel to Japan. And then when I was a high school head coach and was actually making enough money in the summer of '94, I came to Japan. I visited all the friends that I've been writing letters to. I met Higashino-san. I met all kinds of students, high school students, college students, and Mr. Kawashima at Nichidai said, just come to our summer training camp, our Gashiku in Nagano. So I showed up. In fact, I showed up before they got there, and I'm at a gym in the middle of nowhere, and there's no one there, and I go inside, and I very, very bad Japanese. I asked, and finally they said, well, they'll be here later. So I just waited. In fact, I waited by a phone booth outside. I'm like, I don't know if I'm in the right place. And then they showed up, and it was one of the best weeks of my life. I got to train with them, sleep in we stayed in the same place. We ate together, we trained together. They let me do some coaching, and that was the start of me really just getting to know Japanese basketball on a real personal level.
コーチってどうしてもその経済的に裕福な職業ではなかったりするので、その日本に行くお金がないと。で、その94年の夏高校のヘッドコーチやってた頃なんですけど、その日本に行くチャンスが訪れて、でそのさっき話してた手紙の送ってくれた人たちに会ったりとかする機会が設けられたと。で その日大の川島コーチがそのうちの長野で合宿するのでそれに来たらどうだっていうことで、まあ呼んでもらって、でその大学チームが来る前に着いちゃって、でそのもう何もないところの体育館にこうポツンと立って電話ボックスの前で本当にここで合ってるのかとずっと待機している状態が続いてたんですけど、まあ実際来てみればもう本当に人生最高の1週間の一つと考えられるような経験ができたので、まあ、一緒に食事したりトレーニングしたりとかで、それをきっかけにまあ日本のバスケットボールっていうのはまあこういう世界なんだなっていうそう足がかりになる経験でした。
And in fact, one of the reasons I wanted to come to Japan is as a high school coach, when I got to August, I was doing basketball all day, every day in the summer. We get to August, and the gym is closed, and we can't practice. And so I'm looking at Gekken basketball, and there's Inter-High. A whole week of basketball in August, like the month I can't do anything. So that's why I came. I said, well, if I can't do any basketball in the U.S., that's why I want to be interested in international basketball. I can go to Japan, and for a month, I got to do basketball in Japan, and that was great.
さらにこの日本に来たいっていう気持ちになった一つとしてアメリカでやってる時毎日こう夏こうバスケットボールやってるんですけど、8月になると体育館が閉まっちゃってもう何も身動き取れなくなっちゃうんですけど、その時にその月バスとか見てたら日本インターハイやってるっつってたまたま自分が身動き取れないこの1週間ずっとバスケやってるのがこれはちょっと行ってやろうっていうことになりました。
So I was just in Toyama. I did a basketball clinic for their basketball school, an under 15 team. I was actually in that gym probably the second day I ever was in Japan. I came to Japan, spent one night in Tokyo, went right to Toyama for Inter-High. And so to go back again years later, and of course I've been there many times, but to go back years later to do a clinic for the kids, it was like, wow, this is where I was when I first came to Japan. I went right to Toyama, and there I was again with those kids. So it was really a special time a couple weeks ago in Toyama doing that clinic for them.
日本に来てもう本当2日目とかにその富山で当時やってたインターハイに行ってのがまあそのきっかけとなったんですけど、つい数週間前にも富山でアンダー15の子供たちのなんかスクールをやったので、なんか当時来たのがまあ富山だったのでそういう意味でもなんか非常に感慨深い、
はい。そして
So how did I get to Japan?
Yeah.
When Tomoya wanted to study English, he came to the United States. So this would be about 96, and he wanted to work with a Division I school. And he didn't really have a chance, so I said, well, I was now at Lewis and Clark College in Portland. We had a great head coach. And I said, well, this is an NAIA school. You can do whatever you want here. If you stay where you are, they won't let you be on the court. You come here, you can be on the court, you can work with players, you can come to every practice, you can be at every game, you can just be part of the team. So he came to Portland, we shared an apartment, and at the end of that year, Mr. Murayama, who was his coach at Waseda, wanted him to come back to be the assistant coach at Itachi. But he had just gotten there, was learning English, was part of the team. He said, I want to stay here and learn more English and learn more basketball, especially because the head coach was so good. He said, Bob wants to go. Bob, you go.
マジっすか。
So he introduced me to his college head coach, Mr. Murayama. And so at the end of that second year at Lewis and Clark, I came to Japan to be the assistant coach at Itachi instead of Tomoya, who could have had that job if he wanted it.
96年に東野さんが、まあ、アメリカに行ってちょっと英語の勉強バスケの勉強をしたいということで、ディビジョン1の学校に行きたがってたんですけどなかなかこううまくいかなくて、で当時ポートランドにあるルイス&クラークっていう大学でやってたのでそこにおいでよと、そこに来たら、まあ、練習なり試合なりとか何でも自由に参加していいからということで、そこで実際まあ東野さんが来ることになって、で一緒にアパートで生活などをしたりしてて、でそこである日早稲田の丸山コーチから日立がアシスタントを欲しがってるから、そこに東野さんに声がかかったと、でも東野さんはいやもっとちょっと英語の勉強もバスケの勉強もここで楽しいしやってたい、ボブ日本に興味あるからあなた行きなさいよっていうことで東野さんの代わりに行くことになったという
すごい
展開です。
And I had actually gone to Spain, first time I'd ever gone to Spain, and I had been in Spain for 3 weeks. And I came back from Spain, and I remember I walked into the apartment, My suitcase was still by the door. I don't even think the door was closed. I go into the room, put some things down. I'm going back out. The phone rings, and that's Tomoya in Tokyo. I said, Bob, how soon can you come to Tokyo? So I just got here. Like, I just walked in the door. So come right away. First thing you can get. So like 3 days later, I'm in Tokyo. We interviewed with Murayama-san in Tokyo, and then I got the job, and that's how it started. And so I've been, since that phone call, I've been involved with Japan ever since. So that's summer of '97. So since then, I've had a very strong relationship with Japan and Japan basketball. Even when I'm not here, I'm still very involved with helping coaches and the friends that I have here.
たまたまスペインで3週間過ごしてて、家に帰ってきたら電話が鳴りまして出たら東野さんで、東野さんがいつ日本来れる今すぐ来いと言われてそんで本当に実際すぐ飛んでいったら、そこで丸山さんとインタビューとかして、でそのまま仕事にコーチに就くことになって、でそれ以来もずっと日本のバスケ界に関われていると。で日本にいない間もずっと連絡も当然取り合ってるし、でこうやって来てクリニックやったりとかもずっと電話がきっかけに今ここまでつながっています。
当時ってその何名かの優秀な選手をご覧になってたと思うんですけど、その実際日立に行って日本のバスケのレベルってどう思いました？ 97年の時点で。
Well, I've been lucky to see a lot of players from when they were very young to when they've gotten older, and one of the things that I'm really happy to see, I saw Tabase when he was in high school. I watched him, I think, at least 2 of the inter-highs that he played at. So I saw him when he was very young, and he got a chance to play in the NBA. And obviously now Hachimura and Watanabe, Bob is in the G League. But I think Hasegawa Makoto should have had the chance. I thought he was about as close to an NBA player as I've seen in Japan. He was just too soon for that. The NBA wasn't ready for a smaller guard from Asia. Those kind of guards were maybe coming from Europe, but no one was ready yet, and he was ahead of his time. And if he had been born a little bit later, he would have been in there for sure. So I knew from even before players went to the NBA, because I had seen Hasegawa as a young player, and he had actually come and watched a game when I was in Southern California College before I even came to Japan. So I knew about him, and I got a chance to coach him when I was in Akita or work with him. And so we're still friends, but I think he was the first one that I saw that I knew had potential. And there's been many others who haven't had the chance, because it took a long time for the NBA to realize that there's other types of players that can play in their league.
なるほどね。早すぎた天才だったんですね。
幸い本当に日本人選手若い頃からそう成熟するまでっていうのをしっかりたっぷりと見れてるんですね。で田臥選手とか、高校でプレーしてるのを見てますし、少なくともインターハイは2回ぐらい見てるんじゃないかな。でそこからNBA にいるまでの成長も見てますし、当然八村選手、渡辺選手、馬場選手っていますけども、昔のことを考えると長谷川誠選手は本当にチャンスがあれば NBA 入りできてたんじゃないかなと考えます。ただ、時代を先取りすぎていたというか、NBA 側がむしろアジアからスモールガードを取るっていうメンタリティー発想がそういう準備がまだできてない時代だったので、今なら今長谷川誠が現役だったら全然取れるんじゃないかっていう。だから他にもいろいろいますけど、やっぱりその当時のねリーグの状況とかも考えるとなかなかそういう進出とかは難しかったのかなっていう。
最近の日本のバスケもご覧になってます？
Well, I'm in China now. I come to Japan about once a year, sometimes twice a year if there's some kind of tournament. So I only get to see, a handful of games. This time I've seen about 6 B League games. Sometimes I'll see. In fact, I went to the East Asia games once in Nagano a couple of years ago. So I don't get to see a lot anymore because my main focus is on China. So, but I do try to see the top teams, and so I've seen some really good players. But it's not my main focus right now.
今は中国をベースにしているので、日本は本当年に 1,2 回来れるか来れないかみたいな感じなんですので、ちょっと数試合ぐらいしか見れてないんですけど、今回も6試合ぐらい B リーグの試合見てて、ただやっぱりメインは中国なので B とかは、なるべくトップチームとか見るようにしてますけど、どうしても今のメインの自分のフォーカスしているところではない。
はい。
But what I do focus on right now, in fact, I have to write a list. It's the end of the month, so I'm writing my report for Miami, and so I have to write about players who are between about 20 and 25 who are still young enough to maybe go to the G League, like Baba is right now. So we're looking for those types of players, and so I've got a list of about 4 or 5 guys they're on that borderline, and so it's a matter of can they continue to progress? Are they interested in maybe going overseas to challenge something like this? So there are players that are on my list. I don't know if there's anybody right now who's got everything that it takes, but there's guys who are getting close and they're doing some of the things that are necessary.
で毎月終わりにマイアミヒートにレポートを提出するので、今ちょうど準備してるんですけど、G リーグで成長できるような選手をリストアップするんですけど、なので今回も日本人選手大体 4,5 人ぐらいはリストアップ今してると。で、ここからちゃんと成長できるかどうかとか、海外志向があるのかどうかとか、そういったところも絡んでくるので、一概に絶対大丈夫とは言えないですけど、なので今は本当に全て兼ね備えてるなっていう選手はまだリストアップできるほどにはなってないけど、ここからまだ、20から25歳の間ぐらいの選手をリストアップという。なので、そこからまだ成長の余地はある選手はたくさんいるんじゃないかなっていう。
そのポテンシャルとか成長の余地っていうのはどこに感じます？身体能力ですか？
Obviously, it almost always starts with your physical abilities. So the tall players are obviously the first ones that you look at. So we know that in Japan, there's not a lot of really, really tall players, but those guys always get the first look. So if there's anyone who has height, first thing you do is look at them. Then it tends to be speed, shooting, and that's, I've said for many, many years, I think that's always the area where Japanese players have a real advantage. They have the ability to shoot. A lot of players are extremely smart and intelligent. And if they can put that together of understanding what types of shots they need to take at the NBA level, not in the B League or even in the Asia realm, if you're watching how far away a Damian Lillard or a Steph Curry shoot, they're now shooting from 4 or 5 feet behind the NBA line. And so you have to understand that even if you have the ability, you have to do the things that are necessary at the NBA level. And there are a couple of guys that as I watch them, I'm like, boy, they're close. If they just knew how much more they needed to work to get to where they want to go. But there's guys there, and there's going to be some. There's going to be an NBA shooting guard from Japan someday. We don't know when, but he's going to come because they have the speed and the quickness.
やはり最初に見るのはフィジカル面で、どうしても日本人そんなに背の高い選手っていうのがたくさんいるわけじゃないので、背の高い身長のある選手はやっぱり先に見るようにしてますと。でそこからスピードだったりシュート力っていうのを見るようにしていて、で昔からやっぱり日本のアドバンテージはそこでスピードのある選手、シュート力のある選手というのは必ず日本のそれ強みだと思いますし、日本人選手は賢いっていうかそのインテリジェンスがあるので、そこをしっかりとうまく組み合わせられるかどうかっていうのが結構肝になってくる。でさらにそれに対して、B リーグだとこういうシュートでいいのかもしれないけど、NBA でやるんだったらこういうシュートが打てないといけないっていうのをまず自分で気づかないといけなくて、でそこに対してどれだけ努力できるかっていうのが重要になってくる。どうしてもね NBA 自体がそもそもスリーポイントライン普段より遠いのに、そこから最近は 4,5 フィートぐらいだから150センチぐらい1メートル以上離れたとこからもうリラードとか打ち始めてるので、そういったところに多分ちゃんと練習すればできるようになるはずなので、そこに対してどれだけ努力できるかっていう。ただいつかとは分からないですけど、日本人の NBA のシューティングガードっていうのはいずれ誕生するだろうと思います。
なるほど。ちなみに中国って昔の NBA プレイヤーがいっぱい活躍してるイメージなんですけど、レベルはどういう感じですか？ CBA のレベルっていうのはやっぱり B リーグより高い
？Well, what you have is you have a lot more big players. So every CBA team has a power forward, center who's a Chinese player. The players 2 meters 13, 209, 210. So a lot of big strong bodies. The guards actually in China tend to be weak because all players in China are selected for height. one thing that happens in China, young players they're taking an X-ray of their hand, and they look to see the space between the joints, and they try to determine how tall they're going to grow.
Yeah.
And so even very good players, if they look at your hand and say, oh, you're only going to grow to be 6'3", we want someone who's 6'7", then they won't take that player. And so it's very much based on height, not heart or ability. And so the guards tend to get left out, and all the big players remain.
中国はビッグマンが多いんですね。で中国人の2メーター13センチだったりとか、210センチぐらいのパワーフォワードセンターが揃っているリーグだと。でどちらかというとガードはちょっとレベルが落ちてくるんです。なぜかというと中国はとても身長を大切にしてバスケの育成をやっているんですね。で何やるかというと手のレントゲンを取ってその関節の間、関節にどれぐらい隙間があるかって若い頃ね。したらそこがもう詰まっちゃってるとこれ以上ちょっと手大きくならないってことは身長がこれぐらいしかいかないとかそういう判断をしてそこで多少の足切りをしてしまうのでどうしても小さいスモールのガードの選手とかがそこで育ってこないっていうことになりがち。い
やすごいですね。
So I can give you an example. I've been disappointed because I've coached a lot of young players. A lot of the young players I've coached are now playing in the CBA. So, I mean, part of being a scout is just kind of being able to predict how someone's going to grow. Well, I had a young player, 13. He was a great shooter. We practiced twice a day, and then he would still come back in the gym at night and shoot. But the X-ray said he was only going to grow to be 6'3", about 190, 192, 193. Well, the management wanted someone who's going to be about 2 meters. So at 13, they cut him. They sent him home. Okay. Now, years later, I'm on a travel team. We're playing the under-19 China national team. We're having a banquet. And I look out, and there he is. 6 years later, from being cut, he made the under-19 national team. He's now playing in the CBA. And I watched him a few months ago score 9 three-point shots in one game. So they cut him a little bit too soon because of his height. He's still 6'3", but he's a great shooter. In fact, I know he's made 10 three-point shots in one game this year. And so it's a mistake in China to keep always looking at the height. And he's a good example of someone who was discarded by one team because of his height, picked up by another team because of his skill. And so it's really a mistake to focus so much on that. But that's again the differences in different countries and different styles.
以前1個例として挙げますと、以前コーチしてたチームで若い選手の育成をしてたんですけどもその時当時13歳の若い子で、本当1日2回練習して夜もシュート練習するようなすごい努力する子だったんですけど、そのレントゲン的にはその手のレントゲン的には6フィート3、192、3センチぐらいにしか育たないっていうことが分かって、そのチームはもう切っちゃったんですね。フロントは2メートルぐらいの選手が欲しかったので。なのでその13歳で切られちゃったんですけど、その数年後U19、アンダー19の中国の代表チームに入るぐらいに成長してて、実際今 CBA でプレーしてるんですけど、この間1試合で9本スリー決めたりとか10本スリー決めてるというか、もう本当シューターとして素晴らしく成長していて、なので一方のチームがその身長を重視して切ったけど、もう別のチームではそのスキルを重視した結果入れて代表レベルにもなってたっていうことで、身長にあんまりとらわれすぎるのも良くない。
B リーグが次のシーズンからアジア枠っていうのができるのをご存知ですか？
Every team has asked me about Asian players. Yes.
中国から来そうですか？次は。
You know, I don't really know if players from China would come, although there's lots of players who, just like here, there's lots of players who kind of don't fit one place or another and might be interested in coming. I think there's going to be a lot of players from the surrounding countries like Taiwan and Malaysia and Indonesia. I watch the ASEAN League, the ABL, and there's some surprisingly talented and athletic players from Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines. So I think some of those players who maybe want to challenge another league or another style would love to come here. I know of a 7-foot Filipino player who'd probably love to come here. And so I don't know about China, although I think there are some young players, but they may not be experienced enough to come. But there are a lot of players. I mean, of course, Japan's a wonderful place to live. So who wouldn't want to come to live here? I know there's a lot of players who are interested.
本当にいろんなチームからアジア枠についてそれ発表があってから聞かれてるんですけども、中国から来る選手がいるかどうかっていうのはちょっとわからない。中国自体にしっかりとしたリーグがあるっていうのもあるんですけど、でもどの国にもやっぱりそこの状況にうまくはまらなくてくすぶってる選手とかはいると思うので、もしかしたらあるかもしれないですけど、どちらかっていうと台湾とかマレーシアとかインドネシア、フィリピン、その辺りからいい選手とか来る可能性はあるんじゃないか。だからフィリピンとかにセブンフッターがいたりとかするので、そういったあたりから来る可能性は十分にあるんじゃないか。で、単純に日本って住みやすい国なので、そこのね、日本に住んでバスケできるならぜひっていう選手も当然出てくるだろう。
なるほど。中国の生活と日本の生活全然違うんですか
？Actually, where I live, it's not that much different. I mean, I notice the differences. I've lived in both. I love both places. I know a lot of people don't understand. A lot of my friends in Japan don't understand how I can like China. A lot of my Chinese friends don't understand how I can like Japan. I love both places. Life is very different. But where I live in Shenzhen, very modern. I've told people it's hard to believe, but I can walk out of my house and within 15 minutes I can walk to 12 different Starbucks. There are so many modern things there. It's a very nice place to live. Now that's not true of everywhere in China, but my life in China is very, very nice.
僕の住んでるところはそこまで変わらないですと。で、日本にも中国にもどっちにも住んだことあるのでどっちも好きなんですけど、で当然ね、日本人からして日本が好きで中国も好きってありえないと思ってる人もいるかもしれないし、中国人も逆にしかりなんですけども、でも自分の住んでるところは非常に良くて、今深は非常に近代化してて、実際自分の家から、15分ぐらいの徒歩圏内で12軒スタバがあるっていう、なので本当にもう近代的な都市として全然住みやすいです。ただ中国全土がそうなってるわけじゃないので一概には言えないですけど、自分の生活は今全然苦になってないし楽しんでいます。
The biggest difference for me is that China basketball is the number one participation sport. Almost everyone who can play basketball plays basketball. There's a court near where I am. There's 10 courts. They're outdoors, and at night they'll be full of people playing basketball. So people, when they finish their work, their company, whatever, they'll go play. There'll be teams there. In fact, as a training company for kids, we had to fight to get courts for the kids because all the adults would play. There was no place for kids to play. And so now we take about 4 of those courts and have kids out there training as well. But they love basketball. I had a man at a recent event. This was just last fall, so maybe 6 months ago. He has 2 twin daughters, 2 years old, 2-year-old girls. And he asked me, Coach, do you have a class for my 2-year-old girls? 2 years old. And that's how much they love basketball. And at 2 years old, the girls already have like a Kobe jersey. They're already wearing basketball clothes because their parents love basketball. So almost every company has a basketball team. Schools, police, firemen, airport workers, hospitals, everyone has a basketball team.
中国本当に今バスケが非常に熱くて、で競技人口が非常に多いスポーツ、むしろ一番多いんじゃないかっていう。でもう本当自分の住んでるところの近くでも野外にコートがもう10個ぐらいあって、でその夜中になるともうパンパン、みんなそれでバスケしまくってる。むしろ自分のそのねコーチングのように子供用のコートをなんとか確保するために頑張らないといけないぐらい、もう大人がもう占領しちゃってるので、であとは例としてその知り合いが2歳の双子の娘がいるんですけども、その2歳の子供を入れるクリニックはないかっていう問い合わせが来るぐらい割ともうバスケに対する愛情がすごいっていう。でその2歳なのにもうコービーのジャージとか着せてても親もバスケ大好きだしっていう。で、どんな会社にもやっぱバスケ部とかあったりとかも、だからもうそこら中で本当にバスケが行われている状況です。
じゃあちょっと話を NBA に変えますが、どうですか、八村、渡辺、馬場の活躍をどうご覧になってます
Well, one, I'm really proud of those guys. I think it's a great thing for not just for them, but for all of Asia. Because I know, like when Tabase went to the NBA the first time, everyone that I knew, from the Philippines to Korea to China, were like, they're excited, like, oh, an Asian player can go. And so there's a lot of players. I know in Japan it's a big deal, but I don't think they even understand how much of a big deal it is around Asia. There's players everywhere thinking, well, if he can do it, I can do it. And a lot of it speaks to the fact that players in Japan do have the freedom to do those things. You know, the big difference between, I'll talk about skills in a second, but the big difference between, I think, Hachimura, Watanabe in particular, even Baba, is if they really want to challenge and say go to college or go to the G League or do something, they have the freedom to try and do that. Chinese players don't have that freedom. If they want to go and the team says no, they don't go. And so, for example, I bought Yuta Watanabe's book. I'm reading it right now in Japanese. And just talking about him as a young player thinking, I'd like to be in the NBA, I'd like to go to school in the US, and that spirit of challenging something. Well, he could do that, and I really admire that. But they don't have that same freedom in China for most players. So that's the first thing that I noticed when I watched those guys.
まずその渡辺選手、八村選手、馬場選手の活躍は非常にとても誇らしいことですと。で、彼ら本人と日本だけじゃなくてアジア全体にとって非常にいいことで、田臥選手が NBA に行った時が特にそうだったんですけど、日本だけじゃなくてフィリピン、韓国、中国とかも本当アジア中が盛り上がってたんですね。アジア人がこれ NBA で活躍できるんだ、プレーできるんだっていうことですごい盛り上がって、なので本当に日本で今すごい盛り上がってるんですけど、本当にアジア中でああいう選手が出てくると思うとアジア中でアジア人がプレーできる、だったら俺にもできるはずだっていう風に連鎖していくっていうのが本当にいいことですと。で、八村選手、渡辺選手、馬場選手にとって本当に良かったのって多分日本ってそのチャレンジしたい、アメリカに行きたい、アメリカの大学行きたい、アメリカでプレーしたいっていう気持ちを持ってチャレンジしたいと思ったら自由に行くことができる。それって中国ではできなくて、中国って行きたいっつってもチーム側がダメだっつったらもう行けないっていう状況ぐらい結構縛られちゃうところなので。で今渡辺の本を日本語で読んでるところなんですけども、そこにね彼は若い頃から NBA 目指してるだとか、アメリカの大学に行きたいっていう思いを持ってそういったチャレンジ精神を持って頑張ってる。それは本当に素晴らしいことだけど中国にはその自由がないっていう、だからその差はすごい感じたなっていう。
The other thing when I see like Watanabe Yuta is years ago I thought Takeuchi, Kosuke, and Joji, if they had done the same thing, now again, it's a different situation, maybe they could not have done it, maybe there are probably really good reasons why they did not do that. But if they had done the same thing as Watanabe and gone to the US as say high school or college students, they probably would have had a chance to be in the NBA as well. These are not the first players who have NBA potential. I'm sure as I watched them that Joji and Kosuke probably could have developed into NBA potential players had they gone early in their career like Yuta did or Hachimura did. So there's going to be others, and I think that's not the only way to get to the NBA. There's many paths, but I think the biggest takeaway now is that Hachimura, Watanabe in particular, are going to inspire a lot of players, not just in Japan, but I see it now in Korea as well. The young players are going to go and challenge high school and college to see if they can get that same kind of success.
渡辺選手のように竹内兄弟、竹内康介選手、竹内ジョイ選手が渡辺選手のように、高校とか大学からアメリカに行って同じことをやってたら、NBA にできた可能性は十分にあると思いますと。で、何か理由があってできなかったのかもしれないですけど、それぐらいポテンシャルはあったと思います。で、今でこそ八村選手、渡辺選手って NBA 選手が誕生してるけど、決してこの今の選手が初めて NBA ポテンシャルのある選手が出てきたっていうわけではなくて、当時からしてもしかしたら竹内選手が例に上がってるんですけど、当時もやってればできてた可能性はあるんじゃないかっていう。なので今後も実際そうやって生まれてくるんじゃないかなと思います。で、当然学生として渡米するだけが道ではないけども、そういう選択肢が一個こうボンってできたっていうのはすごい大きなことで、なのでそこに倣って今後も選手が増えてくると。
the other thing I see now, just again talking skill-wise, like Hachimura obviously is an amazing athlete. And in fact, I've talked to some of the coaches at Gonzaga, and they were saying that he might have been the best athlete they ever recruited. And they've had many NBA players from Gonzaga. So athletically, he's special. He's a great rebounder. He has a great sense. How long he plays in the NBA and how his career arc will go is probably going to depend on whether he can take his shooting range from a mid-range shot to a three-point line or get other shots that he can rely on. But defensively, rebounding-wise, he's an amazing player, and it sounds like the Wizards really, really like him. But I tell you what, I'm really impressed with Yuta Watanabe just because he came out of college with the reputation as being a defensive player. And I didn't know if he could shoot, and I watched him as a rookie in the summer league, and he shot pretty well from the three-point line. And sometimes when you develop a specialty, like, hey, I'm the defensive guy, sometimes you don't work as hard on the other side of shooting. Or if you're a shooter, you don't work at defense. And it looked like he had really worked at shooting, even though maybe that wasn't his role in college as much as he would have liked. But because he worked at it, when he got a chance to be in the G League, he's able to score. And his scoring has gotten better, his offense has gotten better, and now he's had some big games in the G League. He's had chances to play with Memphis on that two-way contract. And so always looking for not only what I do the best, but knowing if I want to go higher, what do I have to work on? And I think he's been a great example because Hachimura physically was a sure thing. He's going to be an NBA player. Watanabe, maybe, maybe not. And he's worked at it. And that work ethic is more important sometimes than skill. And I think that's something that Japanese players, I know they have. I know they will work hard. But having the foresight to work at the right things that are needed for what you want are the key. And I think he's a great example for players.
スキル的な話をすると、八村選手はアスリートとして単純に優れていると。で、ゴンザガのコーチとかとも話すと、もしかしたら八村選手、ゴンザガが今までリクルートした中でも一番のアスリートかもしれないっていう。で、とにかくリバウンダーとしても素晴らしいし、そのセンスが非常にいいと。で、今後 NBA でどれぐらい長くプレーできるのかは、そのシュートレンジをどれぐらい広げられるかとか、あとは頼れるショットをどれぐらい作れるかっていうことにかかってくると思いますけど、今の時点でもそのディフェンダーとしてリバウンダーとしてのポテンシャルは非常に高く、そこは非常に勝ってますと。で、渡辺裕太選手に関しては非常に感心しています。なぜならその大学時代はディフェンダーとして名を挙げましたよね。実際ね、ディフェンシブプレーヤーオブザイヤー取ったりとかしてたので、そのディフェンダーとして買われて入ってきて、スリーはどこまで入るかっていうのはちょっとまだわからないな、未知数なところがあったんですけど、でそうやってディフェンダーとしてこう名を挙げる選手って他のことをどれくらい頑張れるかっていう、結構そこを怠りがちなので、逆もしかりでスリーポイントシューターが非常に優れたシューターだけど、じゃあ俺できるからディフェンスちょっとサボろうかなみたいに なりがちだけど、そこを渡辺選手はやらずにしっかり G リーグでチャンスをつかんだと。でそこで努力をし続けた結果、今も得点能力非常に高くなってますし、実際、ね、G リーグで非常に活躍してますし、グリズリーズでもプレーするチャンスつかんでますし、自分ができることだけじゃなくて、もっと高い位置に行くには何をすればいいのか、どこを伸ばせばいいのかっていうのをしっかり見つけて、そこを伸ばす能力っていうのは非常に大事なことで、あとは練習意欲がしっかりあること、そこがやっぱり重要で、日本人は割とそういう練習意欲って高めだとは思うんですけど、八村は本当間違いなく NBA 選手になるだろうって言われてました。で渡辺選手はまだどうだろうね、どっちいけるかないけないかな、どうだろうねって言われてる中、ちゃんとした練習欲を持って正しいこと、自分にとってこれを練習すれば正しいんだっていうことをしっかり見つけて練習した結果が今につながっている。
なるほど。
When I was writing my reports, I think the first time I wrote about Hachimura was probably after his first game as a freshman at Gonzaga. So he's not in my report to Miami. They have other scouts who covered the NCAA. So I'm not going to write about it, but just telling you, I've seen it. I know what's going on in Japan. All my friends in Japan are talking about it. Make sure you send your scouts to see him. But with Watanabe, it was, I would talk about him. I'd say, hey, I would recommend it for our summer league. But there was a lot of guys who were like, we're not sure if he's an NBA player. We don't know. And so there was a lot of doubt about whether he had the ability to do it. Baba's another one who he's there because he works hard. Dallas loves to give, and again, I work for Miami. I'm friends with a lot of the Dallas scouts, and they love to give guys a chance. They had Togashi there. They loved having him there. I saw all the games that Togashi played in the summer league. They wanted to give Baba a chance, and they love Baba because he plays so hard. Whether those guys can make the NBA or not, Dallas is willing to give them a chance. Other teams, only if they're really sure you're going to make it. But there are teams that will give you a chance. And so guys like Togashi and Baba who, maybe they'll make it, maybe they won't. They just have to find that one team that's willing to give them a chance. And I know Baba's had some really good games in the G League. Whether he can make it from the G League to the NBA, I don't know. I think there's a long way to go. But the fact is there are places, there are teams that will give you a chance. And I think that's really great motivation for young players to know that these players of different sizes and types, Togashi, Hachimura, Watanabe, Baba, all different sizes. And yet all of them have had a chance. And what you make of that chance is up to you. You just have to keep working until you get that chance. And so this is an exciting time, especially with the Olympics and all the things that are going on. This is an exciting time to be in Japan and to be playing basketball. And I think all these young players who are out there should be working really hard because everybody's watching Japan right now. They're going to be watching Japan for the next year. And if you are willing to put in the work, you're going to be seen, you're going to be noticed.
八村選手のレポートを初めてマイアミに上げた時は多分ゴンザが1年生の時だったと思うんですけども、そこは、その日本も盛り上がってますしっていうことでスカウトに、絶対見るようにっていうことを伝えたんですけど、渡辺選手とかはそのサマーリーグとかならもしかしたらいいかもねみたいな感じで進めたんですね。でチームによってその間違いなく活躍できそうな選手じゃないと興味持たないチームと、じゃあちょっとチャンス与えてみようかっていうチームと結構ばらつきがあるんですけど、ダラスは特にそういうチャンスを与えるのを好むチーム、でダラスのスカウトとも仲がいいんですけど、その馬場選手に対しては、チャンスを与えましたと。で、馬場選手は本当にハードにプレーするからすごいダラス自体は気に入ってるみたいで、ダラスってあれですよね、富樫勇樹選手もサマーリーグでプレーしたりとか、やっぱそういうそのチャンスを与えることを好むチームで、そういったチームがもうこういくつかあるので、そういったチームを見つけてそのチャンスをつかむっていうことは非常に重要なことで、なんですかね、今この若い選手にとって八村、渡辺、馬場で富樫選手とサイズもタイプも全然違う選手がそれぞれ違う形でチャンスをつかんで、今頑張ってるっていうことは本当にすごいいいことなんじゃないか。で若い選手がそれを見たら自分もってなるし、でオリンピックもあって今日本でバスケできてるってことって本当に素晴らしいことなので、世界中の目が今日本のバスケを注目してるんですね。どうしてもそのオリンピックがあるんで、日本を見ようっていうことになる、なのでそういった状況でバスケできることは本当にいいことなので、そこでいかに自分もチャンスを見出せるかどうかっていうのは重要になってくる。
そのオリンピック以外で、通常の B リーグを NBA のスカウトが見ることはあるんですか？
That's a little bit different. The history right now, the way things are in Asia, we have in China in the CBA we have 20 teams. And there's a lot of former NBA players who are playing. So actually my main focus, although I write about dozens and dozens of players, my main focus is actually on former NBA players playing in the CBA who might return to the NBA. So Lance Stevenson was playing this year, Jeremy Lin. 3 years ago when the CBA season ended, 10 American or foreign players went back and played in the NBA for at least 1 or 2 games, some for a couple months. So that's the type of thing that I tend to watch. Now, 2 years ago I was in Korea watching the KBL, and it's very rare for KBL foreign players to go to the NBA. But I watched Deontay Burton, who was the slam dunk champion in their All-Star game, and he was amazing. And when I talked to Miami, they go, yeah, we know about him. And sure enough, he's on the Oklahoma City Thunder. So 1 year playing in the KBL, and now he's in the NBA. There have been a couple of players who have played in Japan, foreign players I'm talking about now, who have gone back and played. Jawad Williams went back for a year. This is quite a while back. There's been a couple other guys who have gotten a chance. to go from Japan to the NBA. But in the CBA, that's kind of the main focus. A lot of guys go play there because they know they have a chance to go back. So that's the main reason for scouting the CBA over all these other leagues. Is there's more players who are more foreign players who are ready to go back and play in the NBA.
CBA 中国のリーグと日本とか、韓国とかちょっと状況が違うというか CBA はどうしても20チームあるんですけどその元 NBA 選手がめちゃくちゃ多いんですね、ランス・スティーブンソンだったりとかでその今の自分の主な仕事はその CBA の元選手がその NBA に復帰できるレベルにあるのかどうかというのをチェックするっていうところがあってで実際去年とかも CBA のシーズンが終わってから10選手ほど NBA に戻って少なくとも 1,2 試合選手によっては数ヶ月プレーしている選手がいるとなので CBA は割とそのNBA に戻って活躍できるような準備ができている選手が多いから、そういった目で見るけどどうしてもその韓国の KBL とか日本の B リーグとか、たまにいるんですけどなかなかその CBA との比較にはそこまでならないというかで韓国で2年前 KBL 見てたんですけどそこにディアンテ・バートンというダンクチャンピオンがいたんですけど、彼は実際その韓国でプレーしててOKC に行ってプレーしたりとかもしているので、例としてはあるけど、CBA とはやっぱちょっと状況が違う。
じゃあやっぱりオリンピックで活躍するのが一番目に留まるわけですね。
Well, the other thing that's different is in Korea and Japan, most players go through college, so 4 years of college and then into the league. Now we have a few players now where while they're in college, they get to play a little bit, which is a good thing for those players. What happens in China is players are signed when they're very young, 15, 16, and so they can become pros. I know players at 18, 19 who are playing in the professional league. So the NBA draft, we cannot draft anyone until they're 19. Or if they have to apply to the draft. Once they're 22, we can draft them anyway, which is, again, what most players are. But what we really want are those 19, 20 young players who say, I want to go early. And so those players are already playing professionally in China if they're good enough. Whereas usually in Japan or Korea, they're still in college and we can't touch them unless they declare for the draft. So it makes watching the young players in China, if we can convince them to go early, and there are players like Zhou Qi who played with the Rockets for a couple of years who will declare early and go. But if they wait till they're 22, then a lot of times the NBA teams are already, we already know what he is. They'd much rather have somebody who's 19, 20, 21, younger, so who may still grow. So the focus is always on the very young players, just because that's the nature of the NBA.
あと1個差があるのが韓国と日本は基本的に大学を4年間やってリーグ入りするっていう流れがある、もちろん特別指定でちょっと大学の頃からプレーしたりしてる人もいるんですけど基本的にはね4年間大学やってリーグ入りする逆に中国はもう15、6歳でプロ契約しちゃってもう18歳ぐらいになってるとプロでプレーしてる選手が多いなので NBA ドラフトの性質上19歳以上じゃないとドラフトできないんですけどでそのアーリーエントリーってその申告をしないといけないんですねちゃんとで22歳になっちゃえばもう誰から構わず指名できるんですけどでも NBA って今リーグの性質上その19、20、21ぐらいの選手をどうしても中心に見てるなぜならそのまだ成長の余地があるとかどんな選手になるかっていうのはその揉み方次第なので22、23になってくるともうある程度選手として形成されちゃってるのでどうしても興味がその若い選手に向くとなのでそうですね日本とか韓国だとある程度出来上がった選手がリーグに入ってくるのでどうしても中国と比べると選手の見方が変わってくる
なるほど So when I go to Korea, when I come here, I'm usually looking for the players who they still have potential to grow. If they keep improving, if they're willing to maybe go to the G League or do those things, play in the summer league, they still have a chance to improve. You can see, man, they lack one skill. If he was a 3-point shooter, if his defense was better, if he got a little bit physically stronger, those young players who still have not matured and have a chance, and that's again Miami, 22 to 25, 20 to 25. Those young guys who, if we gave them a chance, if we put them on a summer league team, if we put them on our G League team, and you really think that they can grow into an NBA player, That's who we're looking for. But they're not obviously NBA players now. But maybe if they added something, there's something that they could add after a year or two that they could be an NBA player. That's kind of in Korea, Japan, and other places that we're looking for.
なので日本とか韓国とかアジア全体見てる時の選手の見方としては、この選手なら今 NBA に連れていけば活躍できるっていう見方ではなくて、 G リーグに送り込んで成長できるかどうかっていう、この人なら成長できそうだなっていう選手をまず探すと。で1個例えばスキルが足りない、なんかシュートがもうちょっと打てればなとか、ディフェンスがもうちょっとできればなとか、もうちょっと強さを身につけてくれればいいのになっていうのを、そういう選手を見つけてきて、その成長させるっていう見方で選手を見てるので、どちらかというとそのバッとこいつもう NBA 連れてこうみたいな感じではない、
ちなみにマイアミヒートはどういう方なんですか？チャンスを与える方なんですか？それとも結構厳しい
This is why it's really kind of hard to describe this, because I love Miami. The people I work with are great. It's a great organization. This year we've been playing great. And I love Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero. But the way we go about scouting is we mostly are looking for guys who within a year or so are NBA ready. There's a lot of players on the roster who were not drafted. Duncan Robinson is one of the best three-point shooters in the NBA. He wasn't drafted. We have many players like that, but they have to have an NBA skill. Now Duncan Robinson is 6'8", like 2 meters 3, and he's a three-point shooter, one of the best in the NBA. So the problem with Miami is to try to find somebody who's maybe 2 or 3 years away. They don't want to wait 2 or 3 years. They're looking for somebody that we can throw in the G League 1 year, right away play in the NBA. Whereas Dallas, they'll give everybody a chance. So the teams were doing the same job, but Miami is we only want this type of player. Dallas is we'll take anybody. We'll give everybody a chance because one of them will make it. Miami's like we're only taking these guys. So my job is a little bit tough because I'm here and I'm like I want to give him a chance. And I want to take this. I saw a guy in Korea, and I would love to give him a chance. I've got 3 or 4 Chinese players. Please put him on the summer league team. I could tell you who I would like to go from Japan, but I know Miami's not interested. Dallas is like, oh, take all of them. So it's just a different mentality. But it's Pat Riley. Pat Riley is we're doing it the Miami way, and so all I can do is just hey, these are guys I like. Hopefully one of them will be ready. But it's a very different approach than some other teams.
マイアミはどちらかというともうがっつり方向性が決まってて、その本当NBA スキルがある程度ある選手を求めているので、本当1年 G リーグを掘り込んだらもうすぐ活躍してくれるような選手を探していると。で、ダンカン・ロビンソンとかドラフト外で見つけてきて、そういってパッと活躍できるみたいな、そういった選手の方針でスカウティングしているので、ダラスみたいにチャンスを与える方針とはやっぱちょっと違いますと。で、自分としてはやっぱりね、自分の見つけてきてる選手なのでチャンスを与えたいので、もうどうしてもちょっとこの彼サマーリーグ入れてくれないかなみたいなことはやるんですけども、基本的にはこうリストアップして、上に上げて活躍できるといいなっていう、その1年ぐらいでもうすぐ活躍できるような選手をスカウトしていく方針、それはどうしてもパッド・ライリーの基本的な方針なので、マイアミはね、NBA ファンなら見てて分かると思うんですが、ガンってもうガツッといくぜ俺たちは的な雰囲気を持ってるチームなので、スカウトの方針としてもそこに倣ってやってます。
So when I'm in fact when I'm anywhere, but mostly like Korea, Japan, the advice I give to players and even to coaches is if they really want to be in the NBA, and again I'm reading Watanabe's book and I feel exactly what he's talking about. You have to prepare from a very young age to not only do I want to be there, but what do I have to do? And I really think that coaches, I wish coaches in Japan would listen, because you have to not only coach your player for right now to win at mini basketball or high school or college, but you have to know your player. Your player wants to go to a higher level. What does he need? There's many stories of NBA players who as a junior high school or a high school player was a center. By the time they got to the NBA, they were a point guard. And so if you only practice center skills or forward skills, you can't be a point guard in the NBA. you have to practice all the skills and you have to practice what your future NBA skill would be. And so when I see young players, and I've done this at a clinic in Toyama, I did this in Korea, is if you want to play in the NBA, you have to imagine, what do I need to do? What position would I play? Most young players, it means you have to shoot three-point shots. You have to be able to dribble with your right and left hand and make quick decisions. You have to think the game. It doesn't matter how good you are at one thing. You have to do all of these things well, and you have to do your NBA position. When I write my reports for Miami, the first thing anyone ever asks is, what is his NBA skill? At the NBA level, if you took this kid and you put him in an NBA game, what does he do at the NBA level? Not college level, not B League level, not KBL, not CBA. At the NBA, what can he do at that level? And so I would challenge coaches and players to strive for that. Don't be satisfied with just winning your level. Prepare for the future level of your coaches and of your players.
韓国とか日本の選手やコーチにこうあげたいアドバイスとしては、アメリカに行きたいなら若い頃からしっかりとやっぱり準備をしてないといけなくて、で自分が何をしないといけないのかっていうのをまず分かる必要がある。でコーチに特に伝えたいことなんですけども、当然コーチとしては自分のチームが今勝たないといけないので、そういうスタイルのコーチングをしないといけないけど、自分の抱えている選手がこの将来 NBA に行きたいっていう夢を持っているのであれば、その選手が NBA に行ったら実際どういう選手になるのかっていうのを想定しながらコーチングをしないといけないと。で、コーチングというか育成ですよね。なので、例えば大学とかのレベルだったらフォワードやセンターをやってる選手が NBA に行ったらポイントガードになっちゃうっていうケースなんていくらでもあるので、それをずっと日本にいる間はフォワードとセンターのやることしかやってなかったら絶対 NBA なんかできないと、なのでそれを何をやるべきなのか、自分のポジションは何になるのかっていうのを想定しながらやっぱり練習しないといけない。で、スリーにしろ両手のハンディングにしろ、本当全てがある程度うまい上に何かしら NBA スキルを持ってないと入れない世界なので、そこをしっかりと見つけて伸ばすことで、マイアミのレポートにで上げてまず聞かれることって、その大学や B リーグとか、C リーグとか何でもいいんですけど、そこのレベルで何ができるのかじゃなくて、彼が NBA に来たらまず何ができるので、NBA でできる NBA スキルは何なのかっていうことをまず重点的に聞いてくるので、やっぱりそこをしっかりと想定した上で若い頃から準備しないといけない。
なるほど、深いですね。
And one more thing, I think, especially for Japan, and I know everyone studies, but compared to even Korea and especially right now China, the ability to speak English, at least at a basketball training level, is really important. And so what's happening in China now is a lot of kids are either going to the US to do a training camp in English as young players. Some are even going for 3 months or longer. Or they're bringing foreign coaches to China to do training camps basically in English. So the players learn when the coach is talking about, all right, back cut, pass, set the screen, roll to the basket, that they know what that means. And that they can at least function without having to stop and think, oh, what did he say? I need a translator. And so they're learning to function in English so that they're more ready. And when I'm reading players, their struggles like Watanabe, for example, or even Hachimura, of going to college, and now as I'm going maybe to prep school, as I'm going I have to learn English to prepare. It's so hard, it's almost too late. Now they've been successful, but the next generation needs to start preparing earlier and to be ready, and I think that's a big challenge. And I see China doing it, and I really hope that Japan, the young players, the national level players, the players with those big dreams, will understand that the importance of at least a basic communications level of English is really important at a young age.
特に日本にやってほしいことなんですけど、日本人勤勉だとは思うんですけど、その英語に関するスキルというか、その英語を喋れるかどうかっていうのがやっぱりアメリカでやりたいのであれば非常に重要なことで、そのトレーニングやクリニックをもう英語でやるっていうことが結構重要になってくるんですね。でコート上で英語でコミュニケーションを取れるかどうかっていうスキルがやっぱり重要なので、中国とかは結構それをもう取り組み始めていて、 選手を例えば海外に送り込んで勉強させたりとか、外国人のコーチを呼んでもう英語でクリニックをやってしまうとか、そういったことを英語でプレーすることになれるっていうのがやっぱり重要で、よしじゃあ大学短大俺アメリカ行って頑張ろうってなった時に、大学や短大でプレーしながら英語を身につけるのって相当大変なんですね。八村選手とか渡辺選手も相当苦労したみたいな話出てますけど、だから次の世代はもう先にそれをやっておくべきで、もう英語を先に身につけてしまう、本当基本的なコミュニケーションが取れるレベルでいいので、それをしっかりとやることで、中国はもうそれをもう取り組み始めてるので、日本でもぜひそれはやってほしい。
今まで素晴らしいお話聞いてきましたけど、NBA ファンが見てくれてるので、せっかくだからちょっとマイアミヒートの話もしたいと思うんですけどよくマイアミヒートってマフィアに例えられてパッド・ライリーがドンみたいな感じですけど
It's that way. I've been at most of the time I get to be with the team in the summer, and I really remember it was summer league practice, and the summer league is the new players, first year players, a lot of rookies, guys who probably won't even make the team. And every summer league when I go to practice, all the veterans come in. The players, they don't have to be there. They'll come in. Oftentimes they'll come in and train with the head coach. So Eric Spoelstra will come. He doesn't coach the summer league team, but he'll come and watch, and summer league team will practice, they'll leave, and he'll stay with one of the veterans, and they'll work out together. And then the veterans will come, and I've seen several games where there's like 3 or 4 former players or current players who can't play in the summer league. They're sitting on the bench, cheering for their team. They really understand that this is a group that works and fights together. And a lot of the players are wearing this shirt. Miami talks about culture, and a lot of them walk around with black T-shirts that just say culture, because it's like, we're Miami. We do it the Miami way, and it's really fun to be a part of that. And you see all the players buy into it. It's like, we're Miami. We play hard. We work hard. We work on defense. We play as a team. We cheer for our teammates. And a lot of teams are really good about that, but you can see that it's the head coach, the former players, everybody buys in. It's not just the summer league guys. It's everybody buys in. And that's why you see these guys come out of nowhere, like a Duncan Robinson or Kendrick Nunn, come out of nowhere and play really well for the team.
そうですね、チームと大体いる時って夏なのでサマーリーグチームを見てることが多いんですけども、サマーリーグって大体ね、ルーキーとかチームに残れすらしないような若手の選手とかが入ってくるんですけども、大体サマーリーグの終わりの方になってくると別に来なくてもいい実際の本チームヒートのチームの選手たちがドロドロやってきて一緒に練習をし始めると、でスポルストラヘッドコーチも別に来る必要ないんだけど来て、もう実際そこでもう練習を始めてしまうぐらい団結力が非常に高いと。でサマーリーグの試合見てると分かるんですけど、コートサイドにもうトップレベルの選手たちが見てサマーリーグチームをめちゃくちゃ応援しているって、それぐらいのカルチャーが非常にもう強固なカルチャーが築かれているっていうのが本当にいいところだと思ってで、サマーリーグのチームなのにヘッドコーチとかトップチームの選手とかが集まってで、そういったこういううちらはこういうチームなんだよっていうことで、選手たちもそれをもうすごく理解していて、でそういうふうに取り組んでるので、だからこそそういったダンカン・ロビンソンとかケンドリック・ナンとかがポッと出てきて活躍できるようなチームが作り上げられている。
And you can see this is a perfect team for Jimmy Butler.
Yes.
For Jimmy Butler, this was not a new culture. Jimmy Butler was probably a Miami Heat before he got there. He already knew how to play, and it's not for everybody, but I think players who are willing to work hard. And the funny thing is, that's the culture in Japan, isn't it? That's how Japanese players play. What the Miami Heat are doing is nothing different than probably what most Japanese players grow up in college. Is kanbaro, play hard. You always go hard. Japanese players, that's how they always play. So Miami would be a perfect fit if we ever found somebody who has the right skills to play, because the culture is the same. It's that you never take a minute off. you know, in Miami, all the players every week have to weigh themselves and get their body fat checked. You know, I couldn't play. Like, I'd be way over. They'd be so upset with me. But the players, you know, you have to be in shape. You have to work hard, and that's something that I've never had a problem with Japanese players. You know, in the years in the JBL, the BJ League, now watching B League, most players they're like, yeah, you know, I'll work as hard as you want, and that's how Miami culture is built.
そうですね、ジミー・バトラーにとってマイアミヒートは本当に最適で、彼の場合はもうヒートに来る前からその精神を持っていたので、本当にまあ彼に一番適しているチームに来たなと思います。でなので本当誰にでも対応できるようなチームじゃないので、もう誰でもあそこならやっていけるっていうわけじゃないです。ある程度その精神メンタリティ持ってないと成功できないようなチームなんですけど、日本はどちらかというとそれに近いものを持ってると思う。なのでこうなんですかね、もう頑張ろう、ハードにやっていこうって休まずに頑張ろうみたいな精神って日本人は持ってると思うので、そのスキルさえあればあそこのヒートのカルチャーにはまるのには全く問題ないと思いますと。でヒートって本当にいろいろと厳しくて、毎週のように体脂肪をチェックして報告しないといけない。なので私は多分プレーできないっていうことなんですけどまあでも日本人はそこで多分つまずくことはないと思うので、まあ、そこは割とヒートのカルチャーはなんですかね、親しみがもしかしたら持てるかもしれない。
And you know, watching someone like Bam, this is kind of what I'm talking about with the Japanese players or any players. You know, Bam was basically a center at Kentucky, and now as a third-year player, he's making assists. He's had triple doubles. No one can complete. Sometimes he brings the ball down the floor. He makes passes. He defends sometimes the best player on the other team. He took pride in guarding Joel Embiid. He takes pride in matching with Kawhi and other players. He's become an all-around player, and that's kind of what you have to do. If you want to play in the NBA, you have to really expand your skill set. And watching Bam grow up this year and become just a great all-around player, an all-star this year, that's an example to young players, is you have to work hard, you have to keep expanding your skill set so that you can do almost anything needed and play almost any position that's necessary. And that's, boy, this has been a fun year to watch him play.
例としてバム・アデバヨはケンタッキーではセンターをプレーしてた、でも今はもはやトリプルダブルをやるし、自分でボール運んじゃうし、アシストも量産するっていう。でさらにディフェンスでは相手のベストプレーを守ると、エンビードから河合までオールラウンドに守れるし、プレースタイルもオフェンス側もオールラウンダーになってるって。 NBA は本当にそうやって自分のスキルを広げていくことが生き残るための術なので、本当に若い子たちにとって彼の今年の成長、オールスターになっていった成長っていうのは本当にいいお手本だと思うんですね。自分のスキルをどんどん広げていくことっていうのがやっぱり重要で、なので今年は本当に彼の活躍を見れるのがとても楽しいです。
なるほどね。ちなみに僕グリズリーズのファンなんですけど
That's a good team.
ウィンズローが来たんですけど、ジャスティス・ウィンズローの評価を教えてもらってもいいですか。
Hey, I was sad to see Justice go. When I talked about the Heat in the Summer League, he was one of the guys. One, I saw him as a rookie play on the Summer League team, but then I saw him come back and cheer on the next group. He didn't have to play, but he came and was at the game. He sat right on the bench, behind the bench. He's actually gone from being a small forward, power forward, to playing some point guard. If he's healthy, he's an amazing player. I hope he can be healthy for the Grizzlies. I didn't want to see him go. I really liked him. So I think that you've got a good pick up there because he's a good, tough player. I just hope he gets healthy.
ジャスティスがいなくなったのは個人的に非常に寂しいとか、すごい好きな選手だったので、彼がルーキーの時にサマーリーグでプレーしてたのも見ていて、で次の年も別に呼ばれてないのに来る必要ないのに来て、もうベンチ裏に座ってすごい応援するって、このヒートカルチャーがすごい身に染みている人で、彼も本当にスモールフォワード、パワーフォワードからもうポイントガードをこなすまでになって成長している選手なので、もう健康なら本当に素晴らしい選手なので、健康にプレーできるさえすればグリズリーズとしては非常にいい広いものをしたんじゃないかと思います。
直してほしいですね。
It's one of the hard things for people to understand is how physical and how big the NBA players are, and how as you're preparing to, I want to play in the NBA, boy, those guys are big, they're strong, they're physical. And it's not even so much that you have to be big, you have to be, wiry and tough and be able to take a few hits and not be hurt. And it's a different game. And so I hope players who have those dreams understand there's so much more than just the skills. It's the staying healthy and preparing yourself mentally and physically to play at that level.
NBA 選手って本当に多分みんなが想像してる以上にでかいし、フィジカルも強いし、屈強なんですね。何よりも何度か当てられても怪我をしないっていうこともやっぱり重要なことの一つで、その夢を持っているその若い選手たちにまず分かってもらいたいのは、そのスキルだけじゃないと、その健康でいる、怪我をしないっていうことも非常に重要なことなので、そこもしっかりと念頭に置いて成長していかないといけない。
ちなみに今年のヒートはどのくらいまでいきます？成績は。
I want them to get to the conference finals. I want to see them against either Boston or Philly for the finals. Maybe at least for the Eastern Conference. I don't know if they can get that far, but boy, they play hard. I love watching them play. I love watching the Heat play. We're going to keep getting better. Pat's going to get us another player. You better watch out. Miami's coming.
できればね、イースタンカンファレンスファイナルでボストンとかフィリーに当たりたいなと思って、本当に今年のヒートを見るの大好きなんで、ででも今まだ上り途中のチームなので、ここからまたさらにパットラリーが誰か選手を拾ってくることもあると思いますので、割とヒートは要注意です。
ありがとうございました。じゃあロバートさん、ありがとうございました。
ありがとうございました。
またぜひ見てください。バイバイ。